Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay. Good morning, folks. Welcome in. Holy smokes. What a day in a week that has already been kind of wild. We got updates for you today. We're trying to get those for you. Get this camera rigged up best. All right. Man, oh man. Another primary election. So the primary night last night in the season. A couple of big ones. We've got big stories. Particularly when it comes to stopping socialism and the spread that's happening right now across the fruited plain. We'll get into that coming up here in just a little bit. Got some bad news as well, but gotta rip the Band-Aid off and just get it to you. We'll do that coming up here in just moments. First, let's thank the folks at My Pure Health Solutions. Yep, we got to thank Missy and Charity and the crew at My Pure Health Solutions, healthwithjustin.com. Down over 40 pounds. My wife and I, so many other people to listen to this program as well, have joined the Maha mission. If that's you, let us know how you're doing. I love to hear your fantastic results as well. We've got some good ones. We've got some great folks. Mike and his wife. I'm just so thrilled to hear from each and every person that has had incredible results. So let me know where you're at and how things have worked out for you so far. I am waiting with bated breath for those announcements. 269-964-4044. We want to celebrate you. Healthwithjustin.com. Well, he'll need it today now more than ever. Support My Pillow, Mike Lindell. Mike, in a bit of a surprise last night for some folks in the Minnesota race for governor. We'll get to that coming up. But first, it's no surprise. The sales are big. The support is fantastic as always in mypillow.com/Justin and mystore.com/Justin. Lock in and get all of the savings and also support this program. And like I said, Mike and those folks too that make it happen each and every day. We appreciate you. All right. That being said, today in each and every day, if you haven't done it yet, support this program by sharing the show. Sharing is caring. All you have to do is click share on whether you're watching Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Get Our Locals, YouTube, you name it. It's a great way to do it. Over at justinbarclay.com/store, we got all kinds of gear inside, the t-shirts, the hoodies, the mugs, the tumblers, and more. And somebody at the end of the program today is going to win something from inside the store. You get to go shopping on us, like a big shopping spree. Thanks to your efforts to help get the word out. Speaking of which, let's get those stories out, the ones that matter most. Truth, logic, and common sense will spread it. With your help here today and our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage, Dave Galloway and the team. Don't forget, whether you want to buy, refi, home equity, line of credit, they can help you with a number of things, especially right now if your credit card bills are so high and you're thinking to yourself, I got some equity in the house. Maybe I cut some of these credit card bills off. Let's bring that down to a more reasonable and easier to deal with payment. You can do that. But not only that, Dave Galloway, whether you buy, refi, home equity, line of credit, he's going to work with you, and he's got a $500 value deal for folks who close their deals towards your closing costs on those refis and buying a home, whatever it is that you're in the market for right now. Dave supporting this program, and I think maybe you're going to have him on soon. Get an update on the Fed. We had him, like a week or so back. We had some interesting conversations about what's happening inside the Fed right now. Kevin Warsh in the chair there. We got more details, I'm sure, coming in the days ahead. We'll break that down for you. But in the meantime, let's break down our big three, the stories that matter most. You'll be talking about these around the water cooler, the dinner table, no matter where you are, powered by those good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. All right, big stories today. He just cut it. Medicaid ending funding. President Trump and the Trump administration ending the funding for sexual mutilation of children. No longer will your taxpayer dollars go to some of these horrific scientific experiments, essentially on kids. No surgeries on minors for gender dysphoria. Thank God. No puberty blockers, no cross-sex hormones. CMS finalizing the rule this week, citing weak evidence of benefit and risks of irreversible harm. Of course. It takes effect October 13th with a short taper for current hormone patients. States may still cover it with their own money, but as for the federal government, the Trump administration, in that ruling, they're saying enough is enough. And it's a big move, especially when it comes to some of these decisions. These kids are just incapable of making on their own. And you got to wonder what parent would put them through any of this hell either. Speaking of some of the insanity going on, a federal judge in Massachusetts has decided to block key parts of the president's executive order restricting mail-in voting. And ruling, by the way, and you know that trying to get some of the election integrity stuff in order. That ruling coming, saying he lacked authority over state election rules and that the Postal Service cannot limit ballot delivery. I think they're going to end up finding that that will be overturned at some point because it is the United States Postal Service. And whether he does this or not, there's been talk about and I think this might actually be likely as well, a national emergency. At some point, in effect, when it comes, and you start to look at what we've already seen in the declassified documents that have come out. This might be a big one. The decision applies ahead of this. Now, the judge essentially said in this case, it's because this is too close to this election. They don't want to. And the judge had some foreign name too, which I thought was kind of fascinating. I don't know whether that individual is or isn't. It's kind of funny to me. I was reading the story thinking to myself, of course. Hey, this is the good news. Democrats in Wisconsin saying no hung, no to socialism. And this is a big one. They've stopped it. It's kind of like the firewall. In Michigan last week, Democrats nominated Abdul Rahman Mohammed El Sayed to run for Senate here in the state. However, Wisconsin Democrats say, no, we don't need a socialist governor. In fact, it was a full court press there because they thought they were going to lose. And by the way, the polling should tell you everything you need to know. This should be a big wake-up call for Democrats here in Michigan as well. They know these extremist commie jihadi sort of candidates like Mamdani and El Sayed, etc. They know these people. They don't have a prayer. Hopefully that rings true. They don't like their odds, at least. Anyway, that's what they would say. They don't like their odds. And I'd say that's probably good news for us in some ways. However, like I said, who knows where any of this goes in the first place? I mean, you see these things and you kind of think to yourself, like, I don't even know how it's possible. I don't even know how it's possible that this guy would get elected in the first place. Like, how does that even happen? In what world? Well, it's a lot of people that are out sort of, out of the understanding of what any of these actual policies are about. A lot of the people that are out of the understanding that would have any sort of clue about what socialism actually means, communism, death, etc. I mean, we're responsible for millions upon millions of deaths throughout the years. And that's what they are. That's what they're signing up for. Essentially, that's what they're signing up for. They don't know that. They're being sold a bill of goods, but they don't know that. And Democrats are concerned because they're losing control of their party. Hong is the example. They did a full court press. I think, if I read this correctly, the guy that ended up winning dropped out previously. He had dropped out. I don't know the story, the reason for why. But essentially, he dropped out, and then all of a sudden, probably prompted to get back and, hey, dude, we need you. We need you in the fight. We need you here. We need you because otherwise we're going to lose it to the socialists. And it was closer than they thought. Plus, there might have been some shenanigans. The governor ended up backing the individual who won, Milwaukee County Executive. This individual will face Republican nominee Tom Tiffany in the general election. So, again, this is by the way, his name was David Crowley. That's who it was. He won by a razor-thin margin, according to the Associated Press. And you can already imagine what the socialists are they're saying and doing this morning. It's a big, of course, it's a big story. Lots of shenanigans being discussed. In fact, some of them I have. I'm going to get to Minnesota coming up here in a moment, and South Carolina, where Lindsey Graham's sister was in the race to take over for Lindsey. No, she's already taken over essentially, but this would be her running and actually being elected. Okay, so let me see. I don't know, what did I do with that? There was something about that. I'm going to have to find this because I'm looking for it and now I don't see it. And I thought I had it saved, but apparently I'll just leave it at shenanigans and then we'll come back to it. Lisa DeMuth wins in Minnesota. Mike Lindell was defeated and Trump endorsed. MyPillow owner Mike Lindell, CEO, defeated in Minnesota for the run for God. What I'll tell you about Lisa DeMuth is that it's been a while since I've talked to her. I did talk to her a while back. She was a Speaker of the House, I think, at one point. She was level-headed, and I think at the time that took place, I think she was on about, it was another important, but I don't remember the conversation we were having. It may have been election integrity, it may have been something else. It may have been some of the insanity of the Minnesota, obviously the riots in Minneapolis. I know there was something we talked to her about years ago, and I don't remember the full details on it. But all I can tell you is, I'm not saying it's the end of the world there in Minnesota. Although you and I both know, would love to see Mike Lindell win that race. The Associated Press calling the race for DeMuth 11-27. Here's what happened. You had a three-way race, and they each needed to get around 30% of the votes. I believe the third person did not, and some of those votes went to DeMuth. She ended up with 45% of the vote, Lindell 31%. And that was called at what? 69, almost 70% of the votes coming in. Now, we got about 99% of the votes. Looks like Lindell may have lost that race by about 45,000 votes. Kendall Qualls was the guy's name, the third. Here's the vote tally. He only got 21% of the votes. Lindell, a little over 30%, 32%. Lisa DeMuth, 43% of the votes. And while, like I said, I would love to have seen him win, At the same time, this doesn't seem to be too surprising for me. Minnesota, it's made up of a bunch of different folks, a bunch of different kinds of people as well. They probably decided their safest bet was with somebody that they'd known and somebody that could get the job done. And in some ways, somebody who was a known quantity. Not that Mike Lindell isn't a known quantity. I'm just saying, like, somebody who they felt was a little bit more. Establishment is not the word I'm looking for either. That's not it. It's just a different way of putting things. Anyway, that unfortunately is how that race ended up. Now let's take us back to Darlene Graham, who is the sister of Lindsey Graham. They had a primary she had to take part in because of his death. She has been serving as a senator from South Carolina. And what's interesting to me is obviously you have to go through this process. They had a primary there, right? Lindsey Graham won that, obviously, right? But because of the death, you have to go have another one. And now they've got another primary. And then that process, I think there might have been like 3 that were in that race, 3 or 4, somewhere along those lines. She did well. In fact, I think she won, but the process looks a little different when you have these primaries in South Carolina. In this case, you got 50%. You got to get 50% of the vote. So she did not. She did get the highest tally. In fact, here's a report from. Is this NBC Now? Is this MSNBC, the former MS? How do they score? I'm not sure who this is exactly. Whether it's the branding on this is a little off for me. I'm not really sure, but you could see she got 32.4% of the vote. Norman 24.5 or 6. Fry 20.5. Sanford 14.5.
Seat there after Lindsey Graham's sister Darlene already advanced a little bit earlier tonight. Let's go to Steve Kornacki over at the big board. Steve, this is a pretty decisive call, relatively early, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, you could see here, Graham, I think the story for her is that she wasn't dominant anywhere in the state. It's just consistent. She was running either in first place or second place in basically every county. And you can see here, I think still some vote to come, but probably going to finish with about a third of the vote in this primary. Meanwhile, Ralph Norman, who's going to oppose her now in the runoff, which will be held 2 weeks from tonight. He's a congressman. His base is right there in the Charlotte suburbs, Rock Hill, York County, this area. And what really did it for him was he expanded his support, as you can see here, across the upstate. This is going outside of his congressional district. And this region it's one of the most deeply conservative areas in South Carolina, very religious, evangelical, fundamentalist. And Norman put up very, very big numbers here that separated him from the rest of Graham's opponents and are going to put him into this runoff. So the question now, obviously,
just so you know, will be Ralph Norman versus Darlene Graham, those two, because nobody got over 50%. She got the most votes, but you've got to get over 50% in order to be the nominee. So that's how that, and I believe we're like 2 weeks out from this. So we have to another 2 weeks. They'll have another election, and they'll figure that out. Back to Wisconsin, because I did find some of it. There's a lot of talk about Wisconsin being rigged. So I want to play you some of this. Even MS Now knows that last night's election in Wisconsin was rigged. The Post says, I don't like the Islamic communist, but Francesca Hong won and the Democrat socialist stole it from her. Given this fact, everybody should be very concerned with what the left is plotting in November. Well, I don't think the Democrat who won was a socialist. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that Crowley was I think Hong was a socialist.
I guess the exact thing, yes.
I think that posted a little up.
Is if 5 of the USB sticks were missing results from the election, so then they have to go try to re-grab them.
Okay, so there was a problem with USB sticks last night missing. And was it in the county that the guy was the executive in? I don't remember the full story on this, but some of it's coming to light here. I briefly looked at this morning and just said, "Oh my gosh, here we go." And by the way, folks, again, just so you know, these are now Democrats saying the thing that never happens and can't happen happened last night. Just make that make sense. There's Kornacki.
Yeah, and they're all the folks behind the scenes are talking about this as well. So we can also look. It's unfortunate.
The folks behind the scenes here, you're saying?
Yes.
Are how do I ask this artfully?
I guess the exact thing, yes, is if 5 of the USB sticks were missing results.
Again, folks, the thing that never happens, it's impossible. It never happens. Democrats tell you this all the time when it comes to President Trump. The thing that never happens has happened. At least that's what they're saying. It may have happened here in this race. Oh, goodness. Oh my goodness. But wait, there's more. I think there's actually more on this. Let me see if I can pull up USB sticks. Let's just see what the chatter is right now, shall we? Here we go. After socialists are furious, Eric Daughtry writes on X, after human error, quote unquote, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, after midnight, caused 5 USB sticks to not have the election results on them. Officials went back and, quote, fixed the data, uploaded it, and socialist Francesca Hong narrowly lost by a few thousand votes to David Crowley. She was highly likely to lose in November if she won the primary. A 2 a.m. ballot drop addressed that. 5 of the sticks did not have the results. It's human error. And so the story here and what's being discussed is Democrats knew she couldn't. Well, this is the woman, by the way, if you know Francesca Hong, this is the woman, another crazy, it's right, common sense versus crazy every time here, but this is the woman who said we ought to cancel Thanksgiving, and she wanted to cancel every holiday she could. She's just not a fan of them. And again, a lot of them aren't. A lot of these people aren't. They don't. They hate America. They hate their traditions. They hate the holidays. They hate everything America. Here they are talking about it.
And the results. What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had the audit log downloaded and not the results. It's a human error. These things can happen. So basically what we need to do is go back to the operations center and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that's not the audit log. So we have the reports printed from the first download. We're going to reprint and start the process so that we can compare those results. We invite you to come join us. Milwaukee Police Department will come with us too. And so we'll re-download those results.
They have seen the insanity that has transpired, by the way. They've seen it. They've seen what's gone on on the when Abdul won this last. I'm telling you, this is really funny to watch because now you got Democrats trying to hold on to power, and they're fighting that socialist wing and the insurgency. They're fighting it right now, watching all of this take place. Anyway, I think it's really fascinating. I really do. I think the whole thing is really fascinating. There should never be, and by the way, why you're seeing this right now, why you're watching what you're watching, any of this right now, is because of what is happening here in Michigan. They've already seen it, and let me show you. And for some of you, that probably haven't had a chance to look at this yet. Let me show you. This is Kalshi prediction markets. If you want to see it, hang on. Let me give you the link real quick. Click this. You'll get to that link to share here. And I will be able to show you what happened. So they did, you know what the prediction markets are, what Kalshi and all the rest of it is. So prediction markets, it's kind of like gambling. I don't do any of this personally. I just don't gamble. But they have these things you can bet on. And with Kalshi, I think you can bet on, this isn't an ad, by the way, but you can bet on everything from is it going to rain today to who's going to win these races, right? Or what's going to happen in any scenario. And if you look and you go back into the prediction markets, which actually end up being pretty spot on. I don't know how they get this better than the polling a lot of time does. But you can see, you can bet on this. You see, you can actually go in and put money. Let's see, let's put $100 in. So is Abdul El Sayed going to be the winner? A yes pays 57 cents. A no pays 44. Look at that. So so let's say first of all, I don't want him to win, right? So I'm betting $100. You could win $218 if it held. Isn't that something? I've never played with this at all, but looks like at this point, if this pays out the way it does, you pay the $100, you'd still win $70 if you did win. Anyway, I just think it's interesting because again, I don't get into any of this. I don't know much about it, but if you can look back here, that it has Abdul's name on it here, but these odds are generic Democrat versus generic Republican. Eventually, Mike Rogers' name gets added to the list because he's the guy, but it's still generic Democrat over generic Republican. Do you see how the race here shows, according to their odds, 76% that the Democrat will beat Mike Rogers in Michigan. And again, this is back in 25. Now we're into 26. You see these numbers, they get a little bit closer. This is probably, I don't know, remote around what happened in May, but there's something that narrowed it down a little bit in May. And do you see this big convergence, this surging, this drop off for the Democrat, that's Abdul, and the jump, the surge for Rogers? That's last Tuesday. That's what happened last Tuesday. Now, again, and, in full transparency here, this isn't, who knows how this is going to play out. But these are people betting. And last Tuesday, Abdul winning, because they thought it was probably going to be Haley Stevens or something like that. But you got a radical. Now, this is what the only reason I'm bringing this up is if you see betting markets move like this and you can bet that polling is moving as well. So the reason I bring this up is that we're not the only ones seeing this. Democrats, as in the deep state of the Democrat Party, those Democrat folks the ones who made sure that Bernie didn't win in 2016. Right? The ones who were all in for Hillary. The ones who tell Joe, hey, Joe, it's time to step down, right? And Kamala's going to be the nominee. Remember, they did all that without a primary? And yeah. Okay. Those people behind the scenes that crown the ascendant, they're the ones, folks, that make the case in Wisconsin that were monkeying around with USB sticks last night. Now, the only reason I bring this up, is because it's a night again where Democrats telling us a thing that never happens looks like it happened in real time. Why is that a good thing? well, more of these people, and particularly the people who were voting for Hong, not all of them are crazy. I think some of them are just deceived. So what I assume is going to happen here, it's very possible, very likely that some of these people will wake up and go, wait a minute. If the fix is in Wisconsin and in a Democrat race, what is going on? Was a socialist firewall there in Wisconsin, or was there more happening than meets the eye? And I think it's a fair look. It's a fair question. I don't know. I'll just say this. I don't think, human error, one thing. I don't think you have 3 USB sticks with data missing in such a close race. I mean, the odds of that. The odds of that are just like in step. It's just hard to really make that work. Again, Kornacki, this is back on MS Now or NBC Now or whatever the feed was. They have all these different feeds now, so who knows where this actually aired? But this is from last.
Here's the thing.
It's so
Yeah.
It's so awkward.
Let's look at it this way.
Because they realize the predicament, the pickle that they're in.
We're kind of indefinitely waiting for them to get their act together here and get the sticks and bring them back and go on. And we've got folks here who are working real late. And I don't think we want to, keep them here to. This could go 90 minutes, and it's 90 minutes of me saying, "Have you heard of any other athletes running for Congress?" It's like I know we've come so far here. It's been 4 hours since polls closed. It's been an unbelievably interesting and
tell you what, they might as well have told everybody last night that a water main broke. They might as well told everybody, that there was a toilet that needed to be unclogged there in Atlanta. They might as well told everybody they had a late night ballot drop at the TCF Center in Detroit. They might as well told everybody that they were going to put the pizza boxes up, folks. Pizza boxes up over the windows again. They might as well said that. And that's what happened last night in Wisconsin. And again, holy smokes. An update from the folks at the Midwesterner from around the state and beyond now. Back after this.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Wednesday, August 12th. I'm Robin Hoffman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. We begin with yet another nugget about Governor Whitmer's legacy. Michigan unemployment falling by more than 135,000 after a right-to-work repeal. Michigan's labor market is among the weakest in the nation throughout much of the Democrat governor's second term. In other news, bills introduced by Michigan's Democrat lawmakers in the current legislative session offering a preview of the party's priorities ahead of the November general election. These priorities indicate a lurch to the left if the Dems regain control of both legislative chambers next year. On the list, tighter controls and expanded rights in housing, driver's licenses for illegal aliens, higher labor costs and mandates on employers, and a range of progressive social measures. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
That's a good question, by the way. Somebody asking in the chat, has Hong conceded? Charlene says. That's a really good question. I don't know. Let's see if we can get some. Let's see if we can get some answers on that. In the meantime, we'll thank the folks for dropping into the chat today on the VIP over on Locals. Patriot Dean Gritter is here with us this morning. Mando Mark, good to see you. Panda and Abel, good to see you this morning. Thank you guys for being here with us on another big bad edition. And I mean bad in a good way. Bad meaning bad or bad meaning good. Well, you know what I mean. Anyway, thank you for being here with us today and watching over on the VIP Freedom Fam this morning. Over on Rumble, we'll say good morning to the folks who are watching on Rumble today. The Rumblers, Rumble. Sorry for any delays over on Rumble. We got a couple of kinks we're still trying to get sort of alleviated there. But it is up and running, isn't it? Yes, it is. TK, Mando, such a time as this. Beasley's, Gary, so much, always great to see you guys. Miller J's in the house. Who else do we? Jen Lynn, Dominic. Dominic says, Hong is within a range of recount, but she would have to pay for it. Pay for it is something socialists will never do with their own money. Oh, man, that's good. Tim with a prayer request for my little baby granddaughter, please. She won't eat or drink. Tim, what's her name? Absolutely. We will absolutely be praying for her. The Facebook on the Bookers this morning. Good to see you, Bookers. Bunny, Keith, Jason, Troy, Melissa, Jane, Sherry. Did I say Bruce? I said it again. Charlene, Joanne. Good to see you guys this morning. And folks on X, I see Lady Vu and a few others. Got to meet some folks last night. I see Tubers here too. Tubers, say hi if you're just watching, clicking through with us. Got to see some folks last night at the big event to welcome in Chief Joe Trigg, the Grand Rapids Police Department, Johnny Brand, voice for the badge, Joe Langloy, our good friend Brady Middleton, who's running for state senate as well. Pretty nice event last night, and thank goodness they made that selection. Obviously, it's something here in West Michigan people take very seriously. Always cool to see those folks. If you haven't, by the way, click share. Do it today. We're going to give you something cool at the end of the show. Somebody will be drawing our winner, grabbing tees, hoodies, mugs, tumblers, whatever. You name it from inside the store. Grok says, by the way, we got our answer in. Grok says, in Wisconsin Democrat primary for governor on August 11th, Francesca Hong has conceded. That gives us numbers. Hong's campaign manager stated that after the concession that the team was, quote, proud of the race we ran and that they campaigned clean while making meaningful change for the progressive movement. Earlier on election night, while results still coming in, Hong had addressed supporters with the message of unity and continued fighting without immediately conceding. Crowley, the one who won, will face the Republican Tom Tiffany, as I mentioned earlier. So there you have it. That's that's the latest. And then there's your headline for folks that want to see it. I don't know. It will be interesting to see whether or not they Men in Black this, whether or not they memory hole it, or in fact it's actually gonna. It'll be something that people will continue to talk about and that people will do. Troy, does Glenn Beck have a YouTube channel to see you next week? A good question. Troy is talking about next week, which I should probably let you know about. Tomorrow and Friday, I'm taking off. I've addressed this a little bit with the VIPs, but I'll address it fully with you right now. We have a big couple of weeks on the way, and in order to get to where we need to go, and by the way, no time off in the near future after we kick things off. I'm filling in for Glenn nationwide the entire week on the Glenn Beck program next week. There's no video component for that fill-in. I will... Not with Glenn's program. I will do a behind-the-scenes, very sort of small audience for folks in the VIP. I don't own the show, so I can't put it out, in a mass way. But following that, on the 24th, something very big launches. Something that we've been working on for a long time. Something that I've been talking about You've been hearing me share this and very excited to bring that to you. That is coming on the 24th. So that's why I am taking tomorrow and Friday off. Part of it is, I've got to do some things. So there's some work, there's some preparation that needs to take place. But the other part of it is, since I won't have an opportunity to take any time off for a while, it's a good idea to rest and get ready to ramp up for some I think energizing, but also very, focused work. We got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be a fantastic time. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. No Newsmax yet of this next week that I know of, Sherry, but if there's any opportunity to fill in or step in and join conversations with them, I'd absolutely be honored to do that, and will do that. And I'll let you guys know as soon as I get a chance. If you don't know yet, okay, how to stay in touch, this is the best way to do it. JustinBarclay.com. Go on my website, put your information in, and let's stay in touch. Because again, Facebook or X or it doesn't matter. There's always issues in some of these places, and you want to know where'd he go? Where's this at? What's happening over here? That way we can make sure we stay in touch. And I, again, don't own Facebook, so I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. I can't make this, but if you have not signed up yet, please do so that you can hear first what the big news is, and when it comes, you'll be the first to know. All right, I've got some interesting clips. We're going to talk about socialists, and this will take us to the next interesting play. By the way, she is running. Whether they admit it or not, she is running. And I'm talking about AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is running. Here is the conversation with her over on, was this ABC, the guy interviewed?
City councilman that has this saying.
Clear. She's running for president in 2028. That's what I'm getting at. Look at how giddy she is, by the way.
Woke one was crazy.
Woke one was crazy. Okay, that's
she'll never be president with that laugh.
And I think that what's important is that we have to assess what
was it. I mean, did the movement go too far with some of those positions? I mean, you briefly supported the idea of defunding the police.
Well, I think that during this time and especially during COVID, there was a huge opening of the Overton window. We were shut down. There was some of the highest unemployment rates that we have seen because of those shutdowns. Yeah. And I think that the doors were really open in trying to entertain any and every policy that was going to get us to a better place. And I actually think that the discussions that were had in that time were quite fruitful. I think that when we talk about crime today, it's fundamentally different than the way that we talked about crime in bringing crime down, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that we all share in the goals of having as low a crime rate as possible. I think that, during lockdown, of course, rhetoric in that time is not rhetoric that we would use today. And I'm grateful that these candidates have the opportunity to present who they are to their electorate and what they're campaigning on in this moment.
These people are nuts. So she's walking back the defund the police. She's walking back some of the woke. They're trying to distance themselves. I'll tell you why. Because people have had enough. They understand it's nonsense. They understand it's nonsense. And Sandy again. Trying to clean up her act. Trying to clean up her act, so to speak, so that she can mount a run for. Now, I got some bad news for her on the personal front. Let me get to that next.
We're almost out of time to get to your future. I'm sure you saw the poll in New Hampshire that had you as the leading candidate, leading choice for Democrats. First, are you going to run for president?
I mean, I'm focused on winning the midterms. I'm running for Congress right now.
But I mean, do you see this as something? I mean, I know you've said you're open to it. Is it a realistic possibility for you?
I haven't ruled out the possibility, and I'm very humbled to the tremendous amount of support out there. I think that we have
This woman doesn't make any of her decisions. She was installed like a toilet seat. This is not. She can't even have a conversation with the guy who's interviewing her. You think she's going to be able to make decisions as the president?
Responsibility to remain focused on the midterms and not on our individual aspirations or plans.
And running
What about this?
for Senate against Chuck Schumer, is that also something that's possible?
I mean, I think that anything is possible at this juncture.
So I want to.
Wow, folks. Wow. Bad news for her, or maybe good news on the personal front. Remember the millionaire? Well, the guy. Remember she came into office. She wasn't making hardly any money. Just barely any money. AOC, and now all of a sudden she's. What they show is like crazy, and then they came out and they had to correct it. So like a $30 million. They had to show like a $30 million net worth. No, that wasn't real. Do I remember that correctly, or was that somebody else? Anyway, the guy who had the money, because he's got all the deals and stuff, and he's a consultant on the side, right? TMZ reporting that the fiance, I didn't realize she wasn't married. Of course, I don't really keep up with the social status of socialists. I don't really do that. But I kind of floored. I didn't realize that she wasn't married. TMZ reporting that they have now split. Now, there was a story, we didn't cover this yet. Well, that was Omar, Sherry said. Yeah, well, the two, you can see why I get those two. It was Ilhan Omar, wasn't it? Was it her brother who had all the money? I don't remember that one either. Anyway, there was a story came out yesterday. I didn't cover this either because I think this stuff. It's so. So she froze her eggs, I guess, because she wants to run for president was the story, which is, I don't even know. I don't even understand why anybody pays attention to any of this. But it's in the headlines, so I'm addressing it. TMZ split from longtime fiance before frozen egg plan. Why? Why do we care? Why? Why does this matter? Why does any of this matter? There's a reason Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez isn't mentioning her fiance, Riley Roberts, when she talks about freezing her eggs, ... TMZ has confirmed they broke up. I'm reading this in the salacious TMZ voice here. AOC and Riley actually split roughly 2 years ago and called off their engagement, according to Puck's chief Washington correspondent, Leanne Caldwell, who was first to report the couple's demise. Multiple sources on Capitol Hill tell TMZ it's felt like ages since the pair were seen together publicly. That's not hyperbole. Riley and AOC were last photographed at 2021's Met Gala. About a year later, in May 2022, the congresswoman confirmed she and Riley were engaged. While we've confirmed that they've done so, we can't say for certain when the breakup went down. Who cares? Who cares about any of this? The only thing I care about is I don't want her getting within a mile of the White House. I just can't imagine. Holy smokes. All of this stuff. All right, let me take that off the screen because it is not what we want up. All right. All of this to say that as things get, and they're going to get even nuttier because we are in the most nutty time you and I have ever, I think we've ever seen. Not only do we have people losing their ever-loving minds on the left, if they ever had them in the first place, right? We're seeing it happen on the right, too, and I just mentioned an AOC. And how do you get an AOC as president? Same way that you get an Abdul El Sayed here as a Senate. As you run third parties, or you have people who are supposed conservatives come out and campaign against, like Tucker's campaigning. He might even run. They're saying he might even run. So what does that look like? You divide, you split the party as much as you can. And when you're talking common sense versus crazy, you're going to elect crazy every single time. And it's important to remember who these people are. President Trump sounding the alarm on El Sayed in the Oval Office. I believe this was yesterday.
They're putting forward making life easier for.
Well, the one thing is we have jihadists being elected all over the place. We have this, whether it's communism, jihadism. It's a lot of, a friend of mine called up. He said, really, you should use the word jihadist because that's what's happening. And I'm not sure that anybody, if you take a look at what happens in other countries, I think that's not going to be necessarily the way we want to live. But when you look at the radicalism and the craziness of the candidates and the stupidity of what they're suggesting, let's get rid of the Supreme Court, let's get rid of the presidency, let's get rid of the Senate. They want to get, sometimes I'd like to get rid of the Senate too, but I don't say it, and I wouldn't do it. But, they want to get rid of the Senate. They want to get rid of, ideally, the House, but they're thinking about maybe keeping the House. Isn't that nice? These are people that have been not successful. They're people that have been, in many cases, failures. They come from other failed countries, and they come here and they tell us how to run our country. They come from places like, I won't mention because I don't want to get myself into a controversy, but they come from countries that are not great. They come from, let's say, as an example, Somalia. They come in and then they tell us how our Constitution, how our Declaration of Independence, how it works. It doesn't work that way, and they're not smart. They have no aptitude. They have nothing going, and they're telling us how to run our country. And I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that they start off, now I may be wrong, but, they start off with a big disadvantage. People don't want to have
Somalia. The way he says those countries,
China.
There's something about it so funny to me. Very good, by the way, very good point from Julianne over on Rumble. TMZ reports all the personal crap so that people know their names. It's the Kardashianization of politics. They're reporting that stuff so they know their names, she says, because people who look at or watch TMZ would never tune into politics. This is why people vote for crazies, because they recognize their names. I would love to see AOC debate Kamala Harris for 2028 in the presidential election. I'd actually watch it, Jason said. Yeah, isn't that something? Wouldn't that be a pay-per-view opportunity? That would be something altogether. So again, you got the jihadists, and we've got new footage. The Kami jihadi El Sayed. We've got new footage of Kami Mandani with an interesting accent. Speaking of AOC, got a little bit of an interesting accent. This is footage that has surfaced. And we shared a little bit about this yesterday, talking about how they're going to do the third world, how they're going to elect third worlders by lying through their teeth. And they're allowed to do this in the Muslim religion. They're called taqiyya.
I think that with the interesting thing about our communities here is I think that minority communities, because we have never had representation, we are tied much more to identity. White communities, they've had representation forever. And so for them, their tie is a little less identity and a little more ideology. And so what I mean by that is we have a lot of voters here who think of themselves first as progressive voters. Mm-hmm. And so we reach out to them.
Well, Obama, by the way, Obama started the identity thing. It's not that minorities think of themselves in identities. No, they want you to think of themselves. They want people to believe that they're marginalized, and then they want to push on that wound, the oppressor sort of, oppressed wound.
I'm speaking about our platform, our progressive platform. And you're very right that you need someone in the middle to be a validator, someone to tell them to trust us, believe in us. We've had that with Tiffany Caban and Cynthia Nixon.
By the way, What he's mentioning in some of this stuff here is how they're going to fool white women, liberal women, into voting that way. By the way, Peggy Flanagan, I think is her name. She just won the Democrat primary for U.S. Senate in Minnesota. She'll be facing Michelle Tafoya. Here she is doing the dress up.
Assalamu alaikum. My name's Peggy Flanagan. I am the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, and I'm really honored and humbled to be here with all of you today.
She's radical, wacko, and there she is wearing the get up, the garb of the Somalian.
I am
to win the vote. So
incredibly clear that the Somali community is part of the fabric of the state of Minnesota. I think about my friendship with Nimco. We've been friends for almost 25 years. And when I think of being part of Minnesota and growing up here, the Somali community has always been a part of my Minnesota.
All right. So while she's playing dress up, right, in Minnesota as the candidate for governor, or excuse me, Senate there. You got Zohran Mamdani, and this is great, gone through 4 accents in just a short span of time. Only one. By the way, isn't that interesting? He was a rapper. I don't think I knew that part. I think, this guy's had a bunch of different things that he's tried and done. And when you talk about manufactured, this is it. None of it's real. The accent isn't real all the way down to the garb they're wearing. All right, hang on. I'm hearing you got audio issues, folks. Stand by. Let me try and fix it for you. We haven't had that in a long time. I don't know why we're having it again today, but let me see if I can get it fixed real quick. And then you will hear the accent issue.
Come out with a song, like Yemi Alade has a song called, what's the name? Kofi Annan. She has a song called Kofi Annan. Do the Kofi Annan. Now all my friends in Kampala are doing the Kofi Annan. Right? So Ugandans, we don't really have as many dance moves associated with a song, but we will always dance. We are always dancing. That's the thing. The difference for me is, I'm from Uganda, but I also grew up in New York. In New York, you don't really, you go out, some guys are very hesitant to dance. If they're not grinding, they're just standing. In Kampala, you will just not find that. People are all dancing. Everybody's dancing. Men, women, and it's fantastic.
That's not his real voice. Here's what his real voice sounds like so you can hear it again. I'll play it one more time. Again, don't, folks, if you can't hear something, just let me know. It's not a big deal. Just tell me and I'll try and fix it. I can't tell when that's happening other than you telling me that it's happening. So it's not like there's anything I can do. It's like a short circuit in the system.
Socialism.
This is Zohran Mamdani. He's running for mayor of New York and currently polling second. Here's what he normally sounds like.
We gather tonight in the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country, in the history of the world.
But in an interview in South Africa, he sounded a little different.
I actually created a playlist for Mira, who also happens to be my mother. Nepotism and hard work goes a long way.
And in an interview with the Turkish American podcast, Mamdani sounded different again.
I'll be honest with you, Brother Mansoom, is that at this point, not many people are thinking about it.
And here is Zoran during his rapper days.
You know, it would have been here earlier, but a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour. As in, you can't
Celebrity
just
things,
you can't
things
just stop it. You know.
It's interesting to me, again, how much of a fake and a phony these people are. And again, something like that I think would have been a bigger deal years ago, but now doesn't matter. They didn't see it. It was never going to get covered on CNN, MSN. They would never talk about that. They would never shine a light on that. Let's talk about AOC and her eggs over on TMZ. James O'Keefe doing the hard-hitting investigative work in Detroit, Michigan, going door to door, interviewing affected voters, showing you what happened behind the scenes. Duplicate absentee ballot return envelopes in Detroit. Must have missed this one on MS Now. must have forgot to see this one.
You can see here you've got two different absentee ballots under your name.
That's illegal, right?
That's illegal. It's against the law. Yeah. Oh shit.
You could you scrape one of them off or something?
Can I scrape it off?
OMG has discovered duplicate absentee ballot return envelopes in Detroit, Michigan with shockingly different signatures. So we visited voters who may have been affected to interview them on Michigan's primary day, August 4th.
But it's your signature is on both of these.
Okay, then what?
And it was
Mistake then. If they sent me, they must have sent me too.
They must have made a mistake and sent you too.
Yeah, disregard it. Don't bother me no more.
Oh, she slammed the door. Myrtle Harvey, the voter, admitting the city of Detroit has made a mistake, sent her to which she filled. As received September 8th. Hello. Do you guys know if this is an abandoned building?
Yeah.
When's the last time people lived here? You just drank here?
And many of the voters reacted to our questions with hostility.
2020 election, do you remember that?
Well, what about?
What about it says September 26, 2020, and then October 3rd, 2020.
I ain't worried about no. This is 26.
This is 2026.
Yeah, well, what the fuck is the 2020 got to do with it?
What the fuck does 2020 have to do with it?
Go, get off my porch.
Get off your property.
Go get the fuck up.
Okay. You'll notice Margaret here, look at the M.
Apologize for the language here, folks, but I wish I had a little bit better warning on it. I just tell you that if you need to turn it down, I don't blame you, but this is probably something that people need to see.
There, on the other M, look at the M there. I'm not a handwriting expert. We'll leave that to you. And it appears as though nobody's lived here for a few years. And you can see this is not a stable place to step. My Naomi Price's name was listed twice. You can't tell me? I just want to see, was that a mistake?
I can't tell you. They probably sent her 2 ballots and she just signed them, I guess. I don't know. I mean, what's that mean?
You can see we got the cars over there with the rims were being looked at. These guys are staring at us. All right, we're just trying to make sure there's no fraud. All right, we're leaving. I can't hear what he's saying. The car's on. Can you turn
from pointing from my house? Do you want me to get the dog?
Oh,
Scared to death and scared to look. They shook, 'cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say to you. You know, again, this is another one of those scenarios that is absolutely off the chain in so many ways. But again, this is Detroit. This is Michigan. Joanne's question: can we? It was almost like Office Space, is the way I heard it. Joe was like, can we just get one arrest? Can we just get maybe one arrest here in Michigan? That would be great. Can we just get one? Those people don't vote. They probably have no idea what's going on. Who knows? They probably don't even care. Now, I got to follow up to a video. Before I show you this, I got to share one more thing. Make sure you share it. Last final warning, make sure you're sharing. It's caring. chance to get in the running for something cool inside the Justin store. JustinBarclay.com/store. Hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, and more. All of it inside the store. You can buy it. If you want to support the program, always helpful. We appreciate that. We don't make an arm and a leg on this. We don't. But what we do is get the word out. You help when you wear these things. People ask you, wait a minute, where'd you get that thing? And you could tell them all about where they can find a little more, another dose of truth, logic, and common sense. I'll grab a winner here at the end of the show. Now, this, I have to say, it's a follow-up to the video that thank you, Sally. God bless you, as always. This is a follow-up to the video that we shared the other day. Remember the guy on the left? The guy on the left survived Sharia law in Iran. He's come to America. He's ringing the alarm in Texas. I believe this is McKinney, Texas, by the way, to tell people again what they are up against. This guy, very serious and had a very compelling, passionate plea. The guy here in the center, slightly different. The guy you're about to watch speak is putting this all on. This is kind of a getup. He is faking this, and it's almost like a comedy blocking sort of routine, but I thought it was worthy of sharing.
Salam alaikum. My name is Mahdi Rostamizadeh, Derka Mohammed Hezbollah Nijat Hamas.
Hezbollah Mohammed Hamas, it is Derka. What did he say?
And today I am here to speak in favor of the mosque because we need the mosque as a first step to add a new board to the McKinney's boards and commissions. And the new board will be the Sharia board. Hold on. You haven't seen? You have not even? Do I get to reclaim my time or will they boo me? Okay. So the Sharia board will have new implemented Sharia law rules through the mosque. So number one, we will have dress code. So all women that are overweight and obese will have to wear burqa. Get your
crowd there in Texas is not having any of this.
1,000 steps a day, low carbs. You can figure it out. Number two.
He's saying overweight women need to wear burqas and otherwise get your 10,000 steps a day and eat no carbs. That's what he's saying.
It also applies to the men. All men who are balding will have to wear turbans.
Balding men will have to wear turbans. That's great.
Hold on. Okay, I'm good. So yes, that rule will stand. And once we have implemented that, we will change the United States Constitution with this mosque.
I'm surprised they didn't kick him out in a more interesting fashion. Again, this was all sort of meant to like make fun of the whole thing, and I don't know if this guy has like a YouTube channel or I don't know his story, but I thought that's pretty funny. And you're right, Terry. Many of them didn't. They didn't see that coming at all. But there you have it. That's leaving you on a bit of a high note there. As always, thanks to our sponsors today, My Pure Health Solutions, healthwithjustin.com, Maha Missy and the team. By the way, Maha Missy with another update. Later today, we couldn't make it work during the show today because some stuff going on, but we will we'll bring her a sort of impromptu update a little later today, maybe even this afternoon. We'll see. Maybe I can bring it live for you. All right. MyPillow.com/Justin, MyStore.com/Justin. Michael and Dal support the team and the folks fighting for freedom. Get great deals on amazing products. The Giza Dream Sheets, the 6-piece towel set. They've got the mattress toppers and more, and the MyPillow coffee, which I enjoy. In fact, right now, 50% off at MyPillow, MyStore.com/Justin. And as always, all kinds of goodies inside the store as well. So we'll thank you for being here with us today. And of course, say congratulations to our winner today. Winning Inside the Justice Story. Your pick, folks. Sharing is caring, after all. John Earhart. John Earhart, congratulations to you, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity to share the program today. Email me, and we'll get you set up, justin@justinbarkley.com, for something cool from inside the store. VIPs over and locals, hang on. We'll have more of a conversation with you after this. Join the VIP movement, the Freedom Fam. Just $9 a month, or sign up for a whole year. Get a month free. Get a copy of my book, Good News, Hope and Encouragement for Trying Times, and we'll make that work for you. As always, you make this program possible. We can't do it without you. Don't forget, tomorrow I'm off Thursday, I'm off Friday. Monday, I'm in for the Glenn Beck program nationwide. No shows next week. And then the following week, we launch something massive. We launch something that I can't wait to share with you. I think you're going to love it. It is, it's been a while in the works. And it'll take us someplace I cannot wait to go with you. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. You're coming with me. Let's do this. God bless, folks.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Let's say China. 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 China.